Hello and welcome back to Rada. My name is Beast. Today we're back with more Klutzy Cupid. Let's see if I'll learn to hate Love Meal even more than before. The next morning, I awaken to a clear blue sky. There's like a piece of hair tickling my nose. It's annoying. Alongside a cute girl sleeping in my bed. At a glance, one might even consider this the ideal morning. However,
つむぐさんのお部屋を私にプレゼントしたい？土下座するほどそんなに私が必要だなんて
not even in your dreams!
あれ、ここは先ほど私のお部屋になった。
That's never gonna happen. Anyway, get up already. I want you out of the house first today.
なんでですか？一緒に学園へ行きましょうよ。お友達と登校するの夢だったんです。
What kind of dream is that? It's hardly anything special.
そんなことないですもん。
You actually mentioned those so-called dreams of hers quite often, but I suppose angels had their own aspirations as well. Even if it was something as mundane as working a part-time job.
外見てください。
What are you shouting about?
猫ちゃんです。
True enough, Aile's gaze had indeed landed on a pair of cats. Wait, are those?
そうです。前に私が助けた猫ちゃんたちですよ。間違いありません。
He was talking about the day I first met her. Using her Cupid's arrow, Aile had saved a male and female cat from a gang of other strays.
見事、恋人同士になることができたようですね。
I suppose it does seem that way. Though I don't know what had happened after they'd run off the other day. They were now rubbing their cheeks together, utterly smitten with each other.
これが恋天使の力ですよ。
So is your love charm or whatever at 100 yet? The gauge on the love bunny thing. You said the number goes up every time you bring two lovers together, right?
あれは契約している相手の時だけなので、この猫ちゃんの場合は当てはまりません。
So that's how that works.
でもほら、実際ラブラブですし、超ベストカップルですよ。
Putting aside her vaguely old-fashioned phrasing, I couldn't deny that Love Meal was right. Even now, the two cats continued mewling happily, nuzzling each other's faces against one
ということ
another.
で、つむぐさんもあんな風に誰かとなれるように、今日も一日しっかりとサポートさせていただきますね。ということで、登校も一緒に。
I told you, no. If you're as clever as an angel, if you're as clever an angel as you said you are, you should understand why we can't.
わかりました。私は有能ですから、天使に戻って一人で飛んでいくことにします。その代わり学園ではよろしくお願いいたしますね。
Yeah. After delivering Love Meal her breakfast, I began getting ready to leave myself. But I couldn't help but think to myself, those two cats sure did look happy. Almost felt jealous. Wonder if I'd ever be able to find a partner like that too, like Aile said.
兄さん、もう家を出られそうですか？
Yeah.
それなら、おはようございます。
What's ringing the doorbell this early?
この声はクルルちゃんですね。
Kosaki, did you promise to walk to school together today or something?
いえ、どうしたんでしょう。ちょっと見てきます。
Uta went to go out, answer the door. I knew Kosaki and Uta were good friends, but I don't recall her ever stopping by in the morning before. Yeah, there was some kind of emergency. As I grabbed my bag and headed over to the door, Uta and Kosaki were still talking. What's the matter? We better get going or we'll be late for class.
兄さん、おはようございます。佐久間先輩。
Good morning. Kosaki greeted me somewhat distractedly. Her eyes kept glancing behind me, looking all over the place. Something wrong?
いえ、なんでもないです。兄さん、クルルちゃんは 今日は3人で登校しないかと誘いに来てくれたんです。
Us? Me too. But you don't have to include me, you know? I'm sure you'd have more fun walking together with just the two of you.
いえ、先輩もぜひお願いします。
Pushy today, aren't you? This was unusually forward of her.
ごめんなさい。ただ
Just?
ちょっと気になることがあるんです。
Why am I suddenly completely suffused with dread? Curious? If I recall correctly, Kozaki displayed a rather keen interest in ale, that is, love meal, when she came to our restaurant yesterday. Ordinarily the quiet, reserved type, she was somewhat alarming. It was somewhat alarming to see Kozaki approaching me about it in such a blatant manner. It was possible she'd gotten the wrong idea about my relationship with Lamio. Perhaps she'd even begun to suspect her true identity. I'm going to stab you. Ha! Ale, who was supposed to have left for school a while ago, suddenly appeared in front of my house. She's,
ご丁寧にどうも。佐久間詩です。兄さんの妹です。
Uta replied somewhat stiffly, inching closer towards me. She was probably a little worried of this weirdly energetic, overly familiar stranger. And she was right to be, absolutely right to be.
レイルさん。この人が昨日兄さんの言ってた転校生ですか。小泉先輩は昨晩ファミレスにも来てくださったんだよ。転校初日に兄さんと連絡先交換してるどころかバイト先まで徹底視察。兄さん、この方と何か深い関わりが。
No, I don't! Like I said yesterday, she's just a classmate.
はい、私はつむぐさんのただのクラスメートです。でも家の前で会うなんて。確かに昨日出会ったばかりのただのクラスメートの家の前でわざわざ声をかけるなんて。昨日もあまり女性関係が派手ではない佐久間先輩が早速呼び捨てにしていましたし、怪しいです。
Look, enough with the tag team interrogation. If I remember correctly, she said she lived somewhere in the neighborhood. I'm sure she's just happened to pass by, right? I pointedly looked towards Ale, who nodded in agreement.
はい、そうです。もちろん偶然ですとも。皆さん、これから登校ですか？実は私もなんです。
That's nice. Well, goodbye. Come on, you two, let's go.
でも、兄さんのクラスメートの方なんですよね。そうですよ。なんで無視していこうとするんですか？よかったら、4人で登校しましょう。
For a moment, I thought I saw a mischievous glint in Kozaki's eyes. In the end, the four of us ended up making our way to school together. Oi. Intentionally falling behind falling a bit behind Uta and Kozaki, I turned to whisper to Ale.
何ですか？
Don't give me that. What do you think you're playing at coming to school with us? And you were sticking out the front of my house too.
だってつむぐさんばっかりずるいんですもん。私だってお友達と楽しく登校したいです。
Friends, it's just my little sister and my junior at work.
細かいことはいいんです。みんなで仲良く登校するの、私憧れてたんです。佐久間先輩と小泉先輩、二人で何を相談されてるんですか？
あ！
もしかして4人で登校することに不都合か？
Kozaki observed me with great
兄
interest.
さん、まさかその女性と2人だけで登校したいんですか？そうなんですか？
Stop getting carried away, of course not. Stop blushing.
佐久間先輩と小泉先輩ってただのクラスメートにしては随分仲がいいですよね。
That's ridiculous.
そうですよ。お隣のいすずさんとも最近はあまり話していないみたいなのに。
Well, you know why that is, Uta.
はい。でも そのことと転校生さんと急接近していることは別の話です。
At this point, honest to God, just grab Love Miel by the fucking forehead. Just like, because this fucking idiot won't leave me alone.
まさか恋人
Like hell we are! Need to nip this misunderstanding in the bud. The most we did was walk around the neighborhood together the other day before she transferred in. Since we're neighbors, we got to chat a bit, that's all.
はい、そうです。つぬぐさんとは漫画の趣味も合うのでシンパシーを感じてますし、それが運命というものなのでは。
Definitely not!
チーン。
I didn't like the way Kosuke was staring quietly at me with suspicion. By the time we arrived at school, we were cutting it quite close. Parting ways with Uta and Kosuke at the shoe racks, I was headed to class when I bumped into a familiar face.
おはようございます、いすずさん。おはよう、小泉さん。あれ？つむちゃんも一緒なんだ。
Yeah, morning.
おはよう。小泉さんと一緒に登校してきたの？
Yeah, we happened to run into each other, so...
いすずさん、小泉さんなんて他人行儀ですし、私のことはエイルって呼んでください。いいの？ありがとう。じゃあエイルちゃんって呼ぶね。そういえばどうして私の名前を？昨日あんまり話せなかったのに。つむぐさんからお話を聞いています。お隣さんなんですよね。つむちゃんから？
Yuzu tilted her head quizzically. It's not like I was gossiping about you or anything, we were just chatting.
そうなんだ。つむちゃん、エイルちゃんと世間話したり一緒に登校するくらいの仲なんだ。
Well that backfired. Did you just get to school too, Izuzu?
そういえば通学路で気づけたら一緒に登校できたのに。
As I deliberately changed the subject, Ailed hopped on board too, looking somewhat relieved. Some angel of love she was. Couldn't she have backed me up herself?
私は部活の朝練でもっと早くから来てたの。でも片付けとかしてたら教室戻るのが遅くなっちゃって。なるほど、そういうことでしたか。部活頑張ってるんですね。
Yuzu's the ace of the track club after all.
そんなことないよ。私はまだ全然遅いから。
Anyway, we should get to class. Bell's gonna ring soon.
そうだね。なんだか無理やり話題を切り上げられたような。
Ignoring Ail's pouting, I headed for the classroom. Hearing Yuzuzu happily talk about track club was too much for me at the moment. Right now, I've got my own problems to worry about. A terrible calamity that could quite possibly affect the rest of my life going forward. Convincing myself of this, I turned my thoughts towards the love note. After morning classes, it was break time and I was still sitting in my seat. I had recalled something that had been weighing on my mind. Just what on earth was Saijo's secret? Since using a love note yesterday, I still hadn't found any clues as to what it could be. And there was also that mysterious hint it gave me about Karin being closer than I thought. I didn't like the idea of leaving the whole investigation to Ale, so I decided to revisit some of Karin's archived streams for any leads.
ハロハロ、ハロー VTuber！ イエーイ！みんなのカリンちゃんだよ。今日もカリン旋風巻き起こしていくからね。ねえみんな知ってる？クマさんのぬいぐるみが今度プライズになるんだって。もう商品画像は出てるんだけど、それがすっごく可愛くて。
Yeah, she certainly was cute. Karin, of course, not Kumatan. I found it hard to believe that a girl that cute was in my vicinity, though. I would have noticed her right away. Everyone else would be fawning all over her, too. Looked up as someone bumped into my desk.
ごめんなさい。ちょっと急いでて。ごめんなさい。ちょっと急いでて。もう商品画像は出てるんだけど、それがごめんなさい。ちょっと急いでて。ねえみんな知ってる？クマさんのぬいぐるみが今度プライズになるんだって。
Hold on. Oh, it already stopped. Huh? Oh, don't worry about it. Saija's eyes dropped towards my phone screen. Huh? Oh, this, know if you know her, but she's this virtual idol who's pretty active on VTuber lately. Her gaze suddenly seems to hard and... Whoops, wrong topic, I guess. Ow!
ごめんね、西条さん。うちの紡が何かしちゃった？
What do you mean by my Tsugu?
いいえ。不注意で私がぶつかってしまったの。ごめんなさい。それじゃ私、急ぐから。
Oh, right, see ya. Saijo quickly walked off. Inscrutable as ever, our beautiful, honest student.
なんだ。西条さんに話しかけられてるから、紡がなんかやらかしちゃったのかと思ったよ。
How was that your first thought?
だって、西条さんすごいこわばった顔してたし。
Okay, fine, I guess that was my fault. An honest student like Saijo obviously didn't waste her time watching VTube videos, let alone virtual idols. I doubt she even knew what they were. But wait. Hold on. Turn back to cut and stream on my phone. Ah, they listen to it again. Well, I sound kind of similar to Saijo's. Nah, I'm overthinking things.
やっと放課後だ。紬は今日バイトだっけ？今日のかりんちゃんの配信、リアルタイムで見れるといいね。
I'll try my best.
ガチ勢の顔だ。あの西条さんにまで布教しようとしちゃうくらいだもんね。
I wasn't. Speaking of Saijo, looks like she's already gone. Her seat lay empty. The moment class had ended, it seemed she was headed straight home. The phone in my hand vibrated briefly. It was a message from Ale.
緊急事態です。至急ゲームセンターまで来てください。
Sorry, gotta get going.
わかった。バイト頑張ってね。
Do I have to skin her alive? Don't go into this arcade. You're not supposed to go with strangers. I'm bad. That was a bad joke. When I arrived at the arcade, Ale emerged from the shadows nearby. Why were you hiding?
緊急事態だからですよ。ライムで送ったじゃないですか。
That's not an explanation. Also, I have to go to work after this, so I can't stay too long.
あれを見てもまだそんなことを言えますか？
Ale stuck out her arm and pointed. Followed the direction of her finger to find Saijo absorbed in using the crane game machines.
あの真面目なリンカさんがゲームセンターでクレーンゲームをプレイしてるんです。
I'm going to work. I turned on my heel.
待ってください。なんでですか？
Ale grabbed my sleeve. I don't know why you make such a big deal about her playing games at the arcade just because she's an honor student. It's not like it's against the rules or anything.
でもリンカさんは教室でもずっと勉強してるくらい真面目な方なんですよ。しかもさっき店員さんにこっそり聞いたら昨日も長い時間張り付いていたらしいんです。
I recalled how Saijo had left class earlier. She'd hurried off the moment homeroom had ended. I think her destination had been the arcade. I had to admit, it was kind of surprising.
優等生がクレーンゲームに夢中だなんてなんだか秘密っぽくないですか？
Not the secret the book was talking about, but okay. But at the very least, it's probably something she doesn't want other people knowing about. Perhaps this did have something to do with her secret that the love note mentioned. Together, Ale and I observed Saijo from afar as she continued playing the crane game. The crane claw was moving. It grabbed hold of a cute stuffed bear. However, it quickly dropped its prize. Fucking adorable. Even more adorable. Hold on, is there? There's voice bookmarks. Wonder if I'll finally remember to take enough to make a noises video out of it. Saijo let out a frustrated moan. It was a voice I'd never heard her make at school. The look on her face, too, was one I'd never seen before.
めちゃくちゃ真剣ですよね。リンカさん、クレーンゲームが好きなんでしょうか？
I think he just really wants that stuffed bear.
あのキャラって確かクマタンですよね。かりんちゃんが配信で時々話題にしてました。
I think of it, I do kind of recognize it. Not feeling caught and had mentioned it in the stream I was watching at school earlier too. In fact, it might be the very same prize teddy bear she's been talking about. Kinda might be closer than you think. No way it couldn't be, could it? Had Saijo's face frozen at the sight of the video on my phone for another reason entirely. Maybe it wasn't that she had no interest in VTube. Maybe she had made that face because she was actually very familiar with it. After work, I returned home to find Love Mia lying on the bed watching Cotton's live stream on her god phone. I'm back.
あ、つむぐさん、大変ですよ。
What are you talking
今、
about?
かりんちゃんの生配信を見ていたんですけど、そこで今日、クマタンぬいぐるみの話をしていました。
Oh, what you say?
なんと、一生懸命粘ったのに、全然取れなかったって悔しがっていたんです。取れるまで挑戦してやるって言ってました。
Love Mia's eyes
そ
sparkled.
こで私、ある一つの仮説に達したんです。ラブノートのお告げも加味すれば、リンカさんがかりんちゃんなのではないかと。
I see.
どうですか、恋天使ラブミエール、すごいでしょう。
Yeah, good job.
なんだか反応が薄いですよ。私大発見をしたのに。
To be honest, I already suspected the same thing too. I told her about the things Cotton had talked about during her streams, including stuff about the teddy bear.
なるほど。かりんちゃんの運命度がゼロじゃなかったのも納得ですね。
Yeah, plus if you think about it, Cotton is actually an anagram for Rinka.
かりん、りんこ。あ、なるほど。
It's not exactly the most subtle alias you'd expect from the smartest girl in school, but, well, maybe she's just doing the whole virtual youth idol thing for fun, so she didn't put too much thought into it. As a fan of Cotton's, it was a little sad to think that way, but I'm sure she had her own way of seeing things. Besides, that didn't change the fact that her cuteness always cheered me up. Whatever her thoughts on the matter were, I'd always be a fan of hers.
で、これからどうします？リンカさんに、かりんちゃんですかって聞いてみますか？もちろん逆でもいいですけど。
Of course not.
どうしてですか？
Because she's obviously trying to keep it a secret. If I confronted her about it, it would only make things awkward. Worse yet, she might even think of me as some kind of cringy fan and start avoiding me.
そんなものですかね。
You don't think things through, Love Meow. I don't expect someone like you who appears out of the blue introducing herself as an angel of love to understand.
なんですかその言いようは。私は逃げも隠れもしない正直な恋天使ですから。
What about all those so-called couples you brought together? Weren't you misrepresenting that?
ごまかすのと隠すのは別物ですから。
Making excuses was the only thing this girl was good at, huh? Whatever. Now wasn't the time to be complaining about Love Meow's uselessness. Thankfully, I had a certain item that actually was of some use.
ラブノート、リンカさんのお名前を書くんですか？それともかりんちゃん？
I'm gonna go with Saijo's name. But at this point, I think it's pretty safe to assume that they're the same person. Besides, when it comes down to acting on the Love Note's advice, I'm at least able to contact Saijo. Reaching into my desk, I pulled out the notebook and wrote Saijo's name in it.
何か変化はあるんですかね？
Sure hope so. Ooh. Her fading disappeared on the page alongside another hint.
ほう、運命度上がってますね。
西条凛花、運命度30。まずは仲良くなってみよう。
You should set the nun that. In all honesty, I had no idea how to get close to her. For the time being, there's not much I can do besides watch over her until she manages to win that stuffed Kumatan bear.
見てるだけなんで、なんだかストーカーさんチックですけど。
Well, what am I supposed to do? I can't just go accost her at the
そう
arcade.
いうものでしょうか。クマタンを落とすの手伝ってあげたら、きっと喜ぶと思いますけど。
I mean, I guess I'm not bad at crane games. There was a period when I spent a lot of time at the arcade after quitting the track club. But if I went up to Saijo and said, I'll win you that bear, then that ended up being unable to do it. I think I'd die of embarrassment. Our fate in this might even go down after that. I'd probably cry. My fragile adolescent mind would be irrevocably scarred. I probably could have just said irrevocably. Anyways, I'm gonna go make a bowl of yogurt with strawberry jam. Want one?
はい、お願いします。
Paying my hesitation no mind, the self-indulgent angel flopped back down and began reading manga.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。おはようございます。
Why are you here again? Like, this is not me saying that get the fuck away from me here or something. Like, you're very cute, and I do like what I've seen of your personality thus far. But why are you here? Like, out of pure curiosity. We had just finished clearing away our breakfast plates when a familiar voice rang out from the front door. Is Kosaki here to pick you up again today?
そうみたいですね。ちょっと玄関見てきます。もしかして今日もみんなで登校でしょうか
I very nearly shouted out
安心
loud.
してください。私、今は透明化してますから。
Listen, you. She might be invisible, but for someone who'd been freeloading for 4 days already, she was running around the place a little too freely for my liking. Not to mention, I looked like I was talking to myself if I were to have a conversation with her like this.
それよりつむぐさん、クルルさんたちと一緒なら、私も昨日みたいに偶然を装って一緒に登校してもいいですよね。ねえ。
It seemed kind of suspicious for that to happen 2 days in a row.
目的地はみんな一緒なんですから、私先回りして待ってますね。
Fine. Was walking together really something to be that excited about? With an inexplicably cheerful expression, Love Meal flew out of the living room.
おはようございます、先輩。お待ちしてまし
Good morning.
た。よかったら先輩も一緒に登校しませんか？目的地はみんな一緒なんですし。
Love Meal, it's that the same thing. Sure, I don't mind. That okay with you? People aren't gonna tease you for walking to school with your brother, are they?
私は兄さんさえ良ければ。
You sure?
はい、せっかくですし、普段クルルちゃんが一緒じゃなくても私は兄弟仲が良くていいですね。それじゃあ3人で行きましょう。
Sure. As I glanced at Kozaki's face, I get the feeling she was up to something. As we were co-workers, I was under the impression I knew what kind of person she was to some extent, but has she always had this sort of personality?
皆さん偶然ですね。
Before we'd even taken a few steps, Love Meal, or rather Ale, leapt out from around the corner. That's way too soon, idiot. You may as well have said you were lying in wait to ambush
あ
us.
の方、昨日も。
Looks like we take the same route to school.
そうだとしても、昨日も今日もタイミングが。
I knew it. I need to think of something to say fast.
おはようございます、小泉先輩。
Kosaki's eyebrows knitted together for a moment, but her expression quickly cleared and she greeted Ale normally. Hopefully she just accepted the fact that bumping into Ale wasn't anything too unusual. But that look of skepticism on her face was all too familiar. It was the one I saw all the time in mystery manga. I had a bad feeling about this.
みんなで学校、みんなで学校。
Ale, on the other hand, just seemed to be delighted walking to school with her friends.
それでは教科書の次のページを開いてください。
Minikoshi's pleasant voice echoed through the quiet classroom. Warm rays of spring sunshine spilled through the window. Sorry, I just had like a random ass fucking like memory prop up that I can't fucking sort out. Like, it was like some game where like you had a move where it was essentially like this weird spinning slash advance, like forward movement thing. That ended with the character essentially like when hitting an enemy, it's like hitting the enemy then flying over the enemy. And I can't remember what the fucking game that was. I was feeling so comfortable that I began to doze off. Suddenly my eyes wandered towards Saijo. Being the honest student that she was focused intently on the lesson at hand. For some reason, though, I got the feeling she seemed a bit more disgruntled than usual. Perhaps she was troubled about something. If I had to guess, she was probably still frustrated about not being able to win that Kumaton teddy bear at the arcade. Yeah, right. An honest student like her wouldn't be worrying about something like that.
お昼休みですね。今日のお弁当は何でしょうか。
Don't get your hopes up, I'm not giving you any.
なんでですか。お昼ご飯抜きで私がひもじい思いをしてもいいと。
Stop shouting, will you? You're attracting too much attention. A few people were glancing curiously in our direction. For the time being, I escaped out into the hallway.
兄さん。
Oh wait, what are you two doing here? I don't see you hanging around the second floor too often.
クルルちゃんが兄さんと一緒にお昼ご飯を食べたいと言って。
She was?
はい。先輩のことが気になるので。
Huh?
おやおや、つむぐさんってばモテますね。
This girl's face was pissing me
大
off.
丈夫。うたちゃんからお兄さんを奪おうなんて全然思ってないから。私は別にそんな心配は。
Uta's eyes flickered towards me. Stop looking at me like that. I wasn't really sure how to respond to that look.
みんなでお昼ご飯嬉しいですね。どこで食べますか？
What makes you think we're all eating together?
ダメですか？ダメなんですか？
Curse those puppy dog eyes! Even Uta is using her feminine charms against me. Perhaps the reason the girl seemed so unusually cute today was due to a certain angel of love following me around. I was so amused to myself as the four of us relocated to the rooftop.
もうエイルさん、お弁当を忘れたからって兄さんのを取らないでください。私のをあげますから。本当ですか？嬉しいです。そこまでするとは言ってません。
The prospect of eating lunch with her friends seemed to have Ale and extremely high spirits. Ignoring Uta's reluctance, she continued leaning forward with her mouth wide open. Meanwhile, apparently unconcerned with rescuing her friend from this pushy upperclassman, Kozaki simply observed Ale with a keen interest. The sharpness of her gaze resembled that of a veteran detective you might find in the manga. I hope I was wrong about this, but say, Kozaki.
おいしいです。この肉じゃが。一日経ってすっかり味が染みましたね。なんでこれが昨日作ったものだってわかるんですか？それはその。
This idiot!
うん。
Uh-oh, Kozaki's eyes were gleaming like a certain famous detective who'd found a major clue. Oh, you know, since yesterday's dinner was so delicious, I had to brag about it to her on a rhyme. That's how she knew.
そうですそうです。ライムで写真を見たんです。お肉多めでお兄さんへの愛を感じましたよ。どうしてお肉多めだって知ってるんですか？兄さん、晩ご飯を写真に撮るような習慣ないですよね。昨晩も撮ってなかったような。
This girl needs to be beat. Sorry, it's just like in the attempt to like forget about the stupidity of Love Meal, I just opened up social media for a second. I see that someone I talk to frequently just sent me a picture of like Lancer Artoria, you know the one. But her, I think it was like ruler form. Hold on, Artoria ruler. Yep, it was ruler. The bunny suit casino alt for Artoria, and you're just like, it's just her like posing and saying, if you can't play poker with me, don't worry, master, I know a lot of other heart games, heart, we can play together, heart. And I read that and my first reaction was Mahjong. Like, knowing me, you'd expect to be like, humna immediately. But nah, I just, like, my actual honest first thought was, Mahjong? I took a picture of it while you were in the bath. It was really delicious. You should definitely make it again sometime. Grabbed Uda by the shoulders. Your cooking never disappoints. I truly appreciate it. I look forward to it every day.
そうですか。兄さんがそう言うなら頑張ります。
I'm gonna learn to keep this one in close hand. I'm just gonna put this one here. Phew. Looks like I managed to avert Uta's suspicions for the time being. The question now was... How was I going to fool Kozaki, whose thoughts already appeared to be racing ahead as she sat quietly by herself?
今日のお弁当のデザートイチゴでしたよね。私に一粒ください。なんですって勝手につまもうとしないでください。二人取り分けてあげますから。
Turning away from the other two as they returned to their meal, Kozaki drew closer in toward me.
先輩。
Yeah, I felt myself tensing
放
up.
課後またここに来てください。恋見先輩と一緒に。
I'll actually be busy. Can't, you know. Just terribly busy. So much to do. So much to see. No witnesses. Ale? Why?
ご心配なく時間は取らせませんから。
Alright, fine. Had a bad feeling about this, but I accept it nonetheless. We arrived on the roof. It was deserted. Since we'd come here immediately after homeroom, it appeared Kozaki had yet to show up. Listen, we're gonna do this exactly like we discussed. Alright?
分かってます。私は黙ってつむぐさんの言うことにうなずくだけですよね。
Why do you look so unhappy about it?
だって私はつむぐさんの恋のサポートをするのが役目なんですよ。もっと私に頼ってください。
Maybe if you actually were reliable for once.
なるほど。話は聞かせていただきました。先輩。クルルさん？先に来てこっそり隠れていたんです。
You got the ninja scarf.
人がいない状態ならきっと油断して秘密を喋ってくれるかもとは。まさかこんなにあっさりうまくいくなんて思いませんでした。なんですかこの名探偵っぽいセリフ。漫画で読んだことあります。
Sam and I thought I'd be on the receiving end though. Whenever the detective reveals their strategy like this, it means he'd cornered the criminal. In other words, we'd been caught in the act.
クルル、ずっと気になってたんです。先輩が美人転校生と妙に親しいなって。美人転校生だなんて。
Oh, hush you.
最初は右も左もわからない転校生に親切にした青春系ボーイミーツガールあるあるだと思ってました。でもそれにしてはやけに親しすぎます。
We're really not that close though.
そうですよね。
Stop looking so disappointed. We're the ones who are going to be in trouble if we don't manage to fool her.
不思議だったんです。うたちゃんも知らない交友関係が先輩にあるなんて。バイト先での出会いなら絹店長やお狐先輩がネタにしないわけがありません。
Well, I can't deny that.
恋見先輩の転校と時も同じくして先輩が部屋で独り言を言っているとうたちゃんが心配していました。いちごジャムの消費量も増えていると。
Is that so?
なぜかこっそりお夜食を部屋に運んでいるようだとか。
I'm a growing boy after all.
恋見先輩いちごが好きなんですよね。はい、大好きです。佐久間先輩は別にいちごに目がないってことはないですよね。
That's not true. I love strawberries. They're delicious.
今日のお弁当のいちご恋見先輩に全部あげてましたよね。佐久間先輩恋見先輩を家にかくまっているでしょう。どうしましょうつむぐさん、バレバレですよ。
What she does now?
やっぱり。
God damn it! Why'd you have to open your fat mouth? This clueless angel was the type of person who wasn't fit to play the role of the villain or the detective in a mystery novel.
それに加えて 先ほどの恋のサポートという言葉、口頭無形ではありますが、全ての不可能を除外して最後に残ったものが真実です。恋見先輩、あなたは佐久間先輩のもとに現れた居候系ラブコメヒロインなんですね。そこまで推理されてしまったならもう隠せませんね。
Hey, don't just give in like that. What the hell was a deadbeat rom-com heroine anyway? Heroine. I was baffled how she was able to say something so absurd without batting an eye.
安心してください先輩方。クルル、もっといろんなことを経験したいだけです。
Huh?
先輩も知っての通り、クルル引っ込み思案なんです。
Oh, well, I guess. When she'd first begun working at the restaurant, she had a very hard time dealing with the customers. Even opening up to her fellow co-workers had taken quite some time.
でもクルル、もっと世の中のいろんなことを知りたいんです。もっともっと人間として成長したいんです。
I see.
だから面白そうなことや自分が知りたいと思ったことに、先輩と恋見先輩がやろうとしてるのは絶対に面白いことだって、クルルの心のアンテナが反応したんです。
Antenna.
だからクルルも仲間に入れてください。絶対お役に立ちますから。
Even if you say that.
感動しました。人間として成長したいというクルルさんの心意気。
おい！
つむぐさんの周りには可愛くて恋愛にうってつけの子がいっぱいいるのに、なかなか進展しなくて困ってたんです。
Giving me that look wasn't helping. Wait a minute. Time out! Hurriedly pull Ale towards
何
me.
ですかつむぐさん、ここまでバレたなら白状するのが少年漫画のセオリーですよ。
Stop getting so excited about this! Why was she so keen on being in a manga-like situation when she was already an extraordinary being herself?
恋天使とかラブノートの話をしても信じてもらえないでしょうけど、つむぐさんも未だに疑ってくるくらいですし。
You only got yourself to blame for that.
でも奥手なつむぐさんの恋を応援してくれる協力者がいたら心強いんじゃないですか。何せおちっちんの精子がかかってますし。何かエッチな話をしてませんか？
No, you didn't! Just give me another minute, please! Keep your voice down, Ale.
ごめんなさい。だけどいかがですか？クルルさんは妹さんとも仲良しですし、何か困ったことがあったら助けてくれるかも。
With Ale living in my house for the time being, it was true that there was a constant risk of Uta discovering her. Having a trusted friend of hers on our side could certainly prove useful. If she found out the truth, she might go straight to our dad about it. That would be an even bigger headache. Suppose you're right. It would be nice to have another person to help. No offense, but you're not exactly the most reliable when it comes to romance.
何ですかそれは。失礼なことは言われましたけど、とにかく納得していただけましたか？クルル、仲間に入れてもらえるんでしょうか？ほら、こんなに期待の眼差しを向けてくる可愛い後輩を無限にするんですか？ダメですか先輩。
Alright, I guess I've got no choice.
やったー、さすがです。つむぐさん、なんだかんだ言って優しいんですから。
However, you can't breathe a word of this to anyone. I mean it. Especially not to people whose names I'd written on the love note. Not only would that be embarrassing, it'd be a little awkward if they found out I was somewhat interested in them.
協力者がいれば、私がゴロゴロしながら漫画を読んだり、学園生活を満喫する時間も増えますね。
So that's what you were after all along, wasn't it?
冷たい目で見ないでください。つむぐさんが運命の人と結ばれてほしいって思ってます。私のラブチャームを100にするためにも。
Why is it that everything always comes back to being about you? For the 100th time, I wonder if this girl is even an angel at all. If anything, her unbridled behavior reminds me more of a little gremlin. But anyways, it's about time we explained the situation to her.
ありがとうございます、先輩。
Her eyes were sparkling. Never seen Kozaki act this way. I always thought she was a quiet, shy, quiet girl. To think a side of her like this existed.
では詳しいお話は私から。
Ayla made a show of clearing her throat. Didn't like the sound of
実
that.
は紡さんは90日以内に恋人を作らないと性不能になってしまう奇病にかかっているんです。
Strange condition? Wait.
私はそんな紡さんを救うためにやってきた居候系ラブコメヒロインなんですよ。
You realize that isn't a compliment, right?
先輩、クルルが知らないうちにそんな面白かわいそうな病気に。
I'm sorry, did you just say funny?
クルルさんも私と一緒に紡さんの恋のサポートをしてください。わかりました。クルル、頑張ります。
I don't know whether it was a direct result of Love Meal's arrival or not, but things around me seem to be getting livelier and livelier by the day. After school, there was a certain place I wanted to go.
なぜ学園帰りに繁華街へ寄り道を？
You didn't have to come with us, you know.
いえ、先輩たちと一緒にいるといろんな楽しそうなことを知れそうですから。
Her eyes are practically glittering. Well, there's just something I wanted to check out
リン
today.
カさんのことですね。リンカさんって西条先輩のことですか？学園一の美少女と名高い。
That's right, I guess I'm not surprised you heard about it too.
知っているも何も西条先輩の噂は自分から得ようとしなくても聞こえてくるくらいですし。
She does stand out after all, although she's not that sociable herself. But anyway, I want you to promise me you won't tell Saija what we are doing today.
はい、もちろんです。クルルは承認欲求のためじゃなくて自分自身の好奇心を満たすためにいろんなことを知りたいだけですから、自分が得た情報を不用意に人にばらまくなんてこと絶対しません。
I trust you. Now that we got that out of the way, it's time to get down to business. Like yesterday, we headed towards the arcade. There she was.
今日も苦戦しているみたいですね。西条先輩ってゲームセンターとか来るんですね。意外です。
I only found out yesterday too. Even so, it still felt strange seeing her here. Flooded atmosphere, the flashing lights, the blaring noises coming from the arcade machines. In the middle of it all stood one beautiful girl, getting all worked up over Crane Game. I was unexpected to say the least. But it was also kind of a relief to know she was just a normal girl too, underneath the honest student exterior. She'd probably be annoyed if I said I felt a connection with her though.
今日は取れますかね。ドキドキします。こうして見ているだけなんですか？
Yep.
先輩は恋人を作るのが目的なんですよね。それなら話しかけたりした方がいいのでは。ですよね。私もそう言ったんですよ。
No way, I can't just walk up to her and talk to her. She'd think I was some kind of weirdo.
でもクラスメートですし。
Well, yeah,
小
but
泉先輩が言っていた通り奥手なんですね。
it's not that, it's just... Not only was Saija basically a school celebrity due to her beauty, there was also the possibility that she was actually cutting. I couldn't help but feel nervous. Walking up and striking conversation was simply out of the question.
クレーンゲーム自信がないんですか？
What?
年頃の男子は女の子にぬいぐるみの一つでも颯爽と取るスキルがあると思ってましたけど違うんですか？そうですよ。紡さんが読んでる漫画の 99.9% は男の子が女の子にクレーンゲームで取ったぬいぐるみをプレゼントするシーンがありますよ。
That seems a little high. Damn it, love me, you just had to pick this moment to sign with Kozaki, didn't
困
you?
ってる女の子を助けるのってポイント高いと思いますよ。そうです。お手伝いしましょう、紬さん。なんで取れないの？
Fine. As a fellow human being, it wouldn't be right to leave her alone when she was clearly struggling. I wasn't going to pretend that a chance to get closer with the prettiest girl in I wasn't going to pretend that a chance to get closer with the prettiest girl in school, or the chance that she might seriously be caught in, had nothing to do with my decision. But the fact was, part of me simply didn't like the idea of ignoring a girl in need. Sorry, Joel. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Uh-oh. Was it just me, or was she trying to back away? I'm Sakuma. Tsumugi Sakuma, you know, from class. I'm always hanging out with Masura, and the self-objection began to falter. Never knew it'd be this intimidating being glared at by a pretty girl.
クラスメイトなのは知ってるわ。
Oh, glad to hear it.
それじゃ
With a frown, Saijo returned to leave. Wait, you were trying to win one of those stuffed animals, weren't you? Pointed to the grain game machine filled with Kumaton teddy bears.
見てたの？言っとくけど、ゲームセンターに寄ること自体は校則違反じゃないわよ。脅そうとしてるなら。
Of course not! It's just you looked like you were having a hard time, so it got me curious. She stared at me suspiciously as I walk over to the machine. Mind if I give it a try?
別にいいけど、一回じゃ絶対取れないわよ。
I know. I inserted enough coins for one attempt and pressed start. With this kind of game, you want to test how the claw opens and how strong its grip is before you plan your strategy. There's a couple of different strategies when it comes to crane games, you see. One is to try lifting the prize and dropping it to make it bounce. Another is to use the claw to push it around. It'd be great if I could just pick it up normally and drop it in the chute, though. Since this was a trial run, I began operating the claw without asking which prize she wanted specifically.
戦略。そうなのね。
The outfitting Saija was watching my every move very seriously. It was making me rather nervous doing this in front of a female audience. Nah, I'd expect I wasn't able to win a prize. Since these stuffed animals are so popular, it seems that they made the claw's grip pretty weak after
こ
all.
ういう場合どうするの？
She asked with a serious expression. Well, I did manage to pick one up at least. Maybe we could try moving the claw bit by bit instead. Which prize are you aiming for, Saijo?
あの子、ポスターで A タイプって書いてある方のクマタンよ。
No, it really is just kind of obvious that she's fucking VTuber, considering she has the exact same fucking hair
好きなだけサウ
as
ンド
her
設
as
定を
well.
いじくっちゃいます。
She's actually not on the list. I was trying to like pull up a picture of her to show that they look the same when it comes to the hairstyle, at least. Ah, one eh? Funny enough, she called it a him. Saijo had a surprisingly innocent side to
次は
her.
私がやるわ。
Huh? But
少しずつ移動させるやり方が合っているんでしょ。やってみるわ。
oh, all right. Guess you didn't really want my help after all. I recoiled a little at the stubborn look on her
あな
face.
たがやった方がきっとうまくいくんだと思う。でも自分で取ってみたいの。せっかく手伝おうとしてくれてるのに申し訳ないと思うけれど。
That's okay. But let me give you a couple pointers from the side at least. There are some things I can see from this angle that you can't, after all.
わかったわ。
First, though, let me get an employee to reset the claw. It's a little hard to pick anything up with the position it's in at the moment. So, but don't get me wrong, this isn't cheating. It's just that fiddling with it too much can get it stuck in a weird spot sometimes. At that point, there's nothing you can do about it as a player.
そんな風に弁解しなくてもいいわよ。ありがとう。一人だと台を離れづらくて困ってたの。お願いしてもいい？
Yeah, sure. Turns out, Saijo was a very willful person in her own right. I'd always thought she was a beautiful, hardworking, honest student, but now she was starting to seem even cooler.
違うの。そっちじゃないのに。
Saijo let out an oddly sensual moan as she watched the teddy bear slip from the grasp once again from behind the glass. Guess you pulled up a little too high. Oh, but look, it landed with its tag in an upright position this
あん
time.
な小さいタグ狙えないわ。
Don't worry, you already know the angle at which the claw opens now. If you can get it just right, you should be able to hook it in there. Once you hook it through and lift it up, it'll be yours. You're almost there.
わかったわ。やってみる。
Saijo nodded, putting in a few more coins into the machine. Considering how long she'd been here yesterday, she must have spent quite a lot of money already. Maybe I should take over instead after all. But now, having come this far, I wanted to support Saijo to the end.
アームが開く。ギリギリに移動させて。牽制打ちにガチ反撃された時くらいの緊張感だわ。
I think an honest student like her would know about an FPS reference like that. My suspicions that she was caught in rose even higher. However,
入った。タグの穴に入ったわ。
it's gotten nothing. Oh! The thought was quickly wiped from my mind as I saw Kumaton being lifted into the air.
持ち上がったけどすごく揺れてる。タグどんどん揺れちゃってるし。
Don't worry, at this distance?
いけそう。このままこのまま。
Just a little more? Suddenly, Saijo's beloved Kumaton vanished from behind the glass. A moment later, it appeared lying down in the prize chute. She mumbled, frozen in amazement. Yeah, you got him. Slowly, the realization seemed to dawn on her face. Nice work, you did it! She beamed innocently. It was adorable. I had no idea Saijo could smile like that. It was quite refreshing to see. Don't thank me. You managed it all on your own.
あなたがアドバイスをしてくれたおかげよ。自分で取りたいなんて突き放すようなことを言ったのに、あなたは最後まで付き合ってくれた。だからありがとう。
Oh, Brown was just on a whim anyway.
私この後塾に寄らないといけないの。そろそろ行くわね。
Oh, right.
さよなら。
With that, Saijo gracefully departed.
やったじゃないですか、つむぐさん。いい雰囲気でしたね。
As if swooping in to replace her, Aelin Kozaki came running towards me, I guess.
あの笑顔、リンカさんとっても嬉しそうでしたね。
Yeah.
好感度を上げようとして先輩の方がキュンとしちゃいましたか？え、そうなんですか？じゃあまたラブノートにはリンカさんの名前を。
This isn't the place for that. You're being too careless. As I scolded Aelin to hide my embarrassment, I thought back on Saijo's
次の
smile.
配信が楽しみですね。
What?
待ってる間、小見先輩に伺いました。かりんちゃんはくまたんのクレーンゲームの話をしてたんですよね。西条先輩がゲットしてすぐ、かりんちゃんも似たような話をしていたら、正体究明まで大手ですよ。
It was exactly Kozaki said. I was looking forward to it too, but I was a little scared as well. Seems like I'd be waiting for our next stream with a mixture of anxiety and anticipation.
Hello, 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 VTuber!
There we go. There's proof. Like, it's the exact same hairstyle. I think the exact same pose.
イエーイ！みんなのかりんちゃんだよ。今日もかりん旋風巻き起こしていくからね。今日はすっごく嬉しいことがあったの。じゃーん！ワイプの写真見て。くまたん！昨日無念の惨敗を喫したくまたん縫いゲット作戦。今日ついに成功しました！
The chat suddenly exploded with comments. Some people congratulated her and offered her praises, while others teased her by asking how much money she ended up spending. But once she finished joking around, replying to each and every one of them,
実は今日はリアルの友達にいろいろアドバイスをもらったんだ。あ、友達は言い過ぎたかも。まともに喋ったのは今日が初めてだし、友達とワーワー言いながらゲームするのって楽しいのかもってちょっと思ったかな。まあ私結構人見知りだからリアルでゲーム友達作るのはちょっと夢が大きすぎかも。
way to breach the topic now. Just like, walk up to her, like, during class and just like, I don't know how to start this, but, you really just did not think this through, did you? You saw me watch one of your streams in class. I'm pretty sure you heard me talk about you as well. And the day after you get the teddy bear, you decide to mention it in a stream and talk about how someone you know, like a friend, but not quite a friend since it was the first time you've really talked, help you get it. Like, were you trying to tell me who you are? Like, I'm not trying to criticize you. I'm like, I'm trying. I'm actually kind of concerned here. Like, like, come on. A lot of comments in chat were saying things like, you have us. Understandably so, Conan was adorable after all. Shy or not, her smile and her anecdotes were just way too cute.
なんで普通にコメントしようとしてるんですか。そこはやることが違いますよ。
You're the last person I want to hear that from.
なんですか、失礼ですよ。
But Love Miel was right. The most important revelation here was she was talking about us just now, wasn't she?
俺たちっていうか、つむぐさんのことですよ。
I thought so. It made me rather shy to hear out loud. Karin and I had talked about our encounter today right at the start of her stream. I don't know why I keep pulling out the mag and pushing it back in. Like, I need something to mess around with at all times. We all know how I am. Listen, if it wasn't this, it'd be this. Just fucking waka 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 waka. Which is not good because it's liable to break if I keep doing that. Although she hadn't said it was with a lot of confidence, she had also called me her friend. I thought it made me incredibly happy. I guess this means I'm finally on her radar.
だから反応間違えてますってば。リンカさんがつむぐさんに興味を持ってくれたってことです。
What was that? Anyways. Yeah, maybe.
もう、つむぐさんってば、かりんちゃんが絡むとすぐバグっちゃうんですから。
Now shut up. As I was squabbling with Love Miel, my phone rang.
先輩こんばんは。かりんちゃんの配信見てます？
Who cares about Karin's stream right now? You look very cute in that, Kororo. Swapping right now. I need to calm down. Like, I just earlier, like, fucking made fun is a harsh word. Tease also is not entirely correctly, though. I joked at Justin about the amount of thirst he's showing in the fucking Seven of the Witch videos. Like, specifically for Hisashima and Toko. So, like, after I fucking joke about that with him, I shouldn't be going down the same rabbit hole, probably. Yeah, Sod. Hold on a sec. Let me put you on speaker so Ale can hear you too. As no one expected me, except me, could hear her voice while she was in angel form, Love Miel transformed back into Ale. Since Koseki knew she was living with me, that made things a lot easier. After switching to speakerphone, I resumed conversation.
確定ですね。西条凛花先輩イコールバーチャルアイドルのかりんちゃんです。先輩が取ってあげたクマタンそのものじゃないですか。クマタンの A タイプ。しかもタグがちょっと歪んでるところまで同じです。
You're right, I didn't even notice that. Even for someone with her curiosity, her powers of observation were astonishing. Sure enough, the tag on the stuffed animal was slightly twisted as if it had been dangling in the
証拠
air.
は揃いましたね。
None of it was physical proof, though. All we had was circumstantial evidence. Being the honest student she was, I wouldn't be surprised if she was able to come up with an ironclad way of denying it. If that happened, things could get kind of
で
awkward.
も西条先輩はさくら先輩がかりんちゃんの配信を見ている可能性もあると知っていますよね。
Well, yeah, I guess. So what?
それでもこのクマタンのことを配信で話したんです。きっとすごく嬉しかったんですよ。
That's true.
もしかしたら先輩とお友達になりたいという西条先輩からのメッセージかもしれませんよ。
Well, I guess I better check the love note then. He just opens the love note and all it just says is, just don't talk to her. It's only going to end badly for you. Let's see if this actually is broken. Yeah, that didn't shoot anything. All that did is drop a yellow ball out of it. Hachi. I don't even know what that is. Hint shopping was what they called it when you implied a relationship with someone on social media. Never had it happen to me before, but as a fan of virtual idols, I was familiar enough with the term. So basically, you admitted to reading Uta's manga without permission, you know.
お二人のコントを聞くのも楽しいんですが、今後の話を続けてもいいですか?
Right, sorry. It was embarrassing to think Kozaki was being the most mature one of us right now.
これがリンカさんからのメッセージという可能性があるなら答えなくてはいけません。クルルもそう思います。少なくともカリンちゃんの中の人かどうか尋ねるにはいいタイミングではないかと。
I suppose you're right. I couldn't deny what they said. Besides, I wanted to know more about Saija herself. In that case, I'll try asking her tomorrow.
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
Well, now I feel like I'm already on her route. Which would have been very fucking quick.
ちゃんと記録できたわよ。
Well, I assume this window is supposed to be the picture of the character whose route you're on. So I'm just assuming I'm not actually on the route. Got nice day today. Left the house earlier this morning, leaving Ayla behind while she slept. I'd even left before Uta and before Kozaki could show up, but too. Sure is tranquil. Lately, it felt like the only thing I got to spend on my own. The only time I got to spend on my own was when I was taking a bath. I missed having some peace and quiet to myself. Masura. Morning.
久しぶりだね、登校中に会うの。
Yeah, I guess it has.
なんかテンション低くない？
Well, it's a long story.
何かあるなら相談に乗るよ。
Thanks. Truth be told, there was someone I wanted to talk about. The only person I knew who was familiar with Karen and games and stuff was Masura.
つむちゃんにマソラちゃん?
This time, another voice called out to us. There was only one person in the world who called me Tsumu-chan. Morning, Isuzu.
おはよう、つむちゃん。それにマソラちゃんも。
おはよう。まさか紡ぐだけじゃなくていすずちゃんとも会えるだなんて。3人で登校するなんて初めてじゃない？いすずちゃん、いつもは部活の朝練でもっと早いよね。うん。
今日は数学の小テストがあるでしょ？ちょっと自信
Oh,
なくて。
yeah, I almost forgot about that. Since our proficiency tests are coming up, we've been getting a lot more homework these days.
それなら学園着いたらみんなで授業の予習する？僕も小テスト心配だったし。
わあ、嬉しい。助かるよ。つむちゃんもいい？
Alright, guess I wouldn't mind doing a bit of serious studying.
本当？嬉しいな。
Isuzu broke into a wide smile. She sure is happy to hear it. It wasn't like I was particularly smart enough to teach her anything, though. But ever since I quit the club, I suppose we hadn't had many opportunities to sit down and chat. Me, Isuzu, and Masura. Like Masura had said earlier, this was the first time the three of us had gone to school together. Part of it was because I'd only become good friends with Masura after I'd gotten injured, as I'd mostly stopped talking to Isuzu back then. But now the three of us were chatting and walking to school together. Just kind of weird though. Without Love Miel, I feel like this might never have happened. For better or for worse, a lot of things have changed ever since she showed up. Becoming able to talk with Isuzu normally again was one of them. Perhaps she wasn't an angel of love just for show after all. Oh boy, what the fuck's happening now? What's going on? When we arrived at school, we met with the sound of high-pitched squealing. There was a group of girls surrounding someone of something and kicking up quite a
きっ
fuzz.
と転校生じゃないかな。
A new transfer student?
エイルちゃんの翌日に転校してきた先輩がいるんだよ。エイルちゃんと一緒で外国から来た人らしいよ。すっごくかっこいいんだって。
Two new transfer students at this time of year. Was unusual to say the least. Could it be more than just a coincidence? Finally was able to catch sight of the person in the middle of it all.
綺麗な人だね。
本当だ。女の子が騒ぐのもちょっとわかるかも。
For some reason he appeared to be smiling in our direction. not at Masaru Isuzu, however. Rather, it seemed as though that smile was directed towards me.
なんか今つむぐに微笑みかけてなかった？
つむちゃん、あの人にも会ったことあるの？
Nah, it was my first time meeting him, or rather seeing him. As far as I could recall, I had never laid eyes on him before. I don't remember if I had. After all, he looked like a damn celebrity.
もしかして好かれちゃったとか？
What?
ほらつむぐ、いきなりエイルちゃんにも好かれちゃったわけだし。
そっか。つむちゃんって海外から来る人に好かれる何かを持ってるのかな？
That guy is the Archangel. I'm calling it right now. That guy's the Archangel. That guy heard what's going on and just decided, yeah, no, like, I watched her for like the first day, like on and off while busy. I clearly cannot fucking leave this girl alone. I'm going down. Yeah, right.
そうかな。つむちゃん優しいし。
優しくはないと思うけど、もしかしていすずちゃんにだけ優しいのかな？
Look, this conversation's getting off track. We'd better get to class soon or we won't have time to review.
あ、そうだね。行こっか。
うん。教室にエイルちゃんがいたら何か聞けるかもしれないし。
Maybe. As we headed to class, I took one last look back at the transfer student. Second person to transfer here in a week. Those strangely handsome features. A faint air of otherworldliness. I was something suspicious about him. Perhaps he was the same as Ale. Perhaps he wasn't human either. Am I overthinking things? I really didn't want to believe that such extraordinary beings were popping up everywhere now. But having said that, I couldn't stop those doubts from lingering in my mind for the rest of the day.
ねえつむぐ、これ見て。
Masura pushed his phone towards me. It was the score screen for some game I was playing. He'd gotten a triple S rank. Oh, what game is
サウ
that?
ザンドガンズだよ。かりんちゃんが配信で話してたゲームだよ。次に実況する予定って紹介してたでしょ？
Oh yeah, she did say something like that. Being preoccupied with the whole Kumatan business, I'd completely forgotten.
難しいんだけど結構楽しくてハマっちゃってさ、昨日のマッチで初めて活躍できたんだ。どうしても誰かに自慢したくて。こういうゲームの話できるの紡ぐくらいでしょ？
You say that, but I haven't been playing the game. Even if you show me the high score, all I can say is wow.
確かに。じゃあ紡ぐもやってよこのゲーム。絶対ハマるから。
Well, if Khan is planning on streaming it, maybe I should give it a try. That said, there was a more serious problem involving cutting at the moment. My eyes flicked towards Saijo. As usual, she was diligently studying. And as usual, she radiated an air of unapproachability.
せっかく可愛い僕と話してるのに、なんでよそ見するかな。
Like I just did that without considering that had like weird boner implications, which made me immediately regret doing it.
西条さんに見とれちゃう気持ちはわからなくもないけど。
Shut up.
エイルちゃんが来るまで女の子の話って言えばかりんちゃんのことだったけど、最近変わったよね。
No, not really. Consciously, I looked towards Saijo again. Our eyes met. I reflexively looked away. What?
今目が合ってたよね。
Of course not.
なんか怪しいな。
I had to get him off this topic somehow. As my friend and as a fellow fan of Karin, I'd like nothing more than to tell him the truth about Saijo. But her secret wasn't mine to share. Moreover, I wasn't 100% sure about it either. Yet either.
西条先輩とまだお話できてないんですか？
No.
いざ話しかけようとすると注目を浴びちゃって。
Lunch break. Worried about how things were going with Saijo. Of course, he had given me the chance to talk about it.
学園で凛花さんと内緒話をするのは難しいですよね。普段人を避けてるから話しかけるだけで目立ちますし。
That's true, even for a girl like Ale, let alone a guy like me. Naturally, it wasn't as if I had her contact info
やっぱ
either.
りかりんちゃんの SNS アカウントに突撃するのが正解なんじゃないですか？
Definitely not.
確実に個人運営ということならいいと思いますけど、誰かとアカウントを共有してたらアウトですよ。マネージャーさんとか。
Karin isn't affiliated with any agencies, though, so I don't think that's the case.
カリンちゃんに無視されたらショックだから直接連絡取るのは嫌なんですね。
Shut up. What's wrong with that? In my case, the love note would give me advice and tell me exactly what I've fated this was if I were to write her name in it. Of course, I'd be discouraged if it suddenly took a nosedive after I had worked so hard to increase it.
わかりました。奥の手を使いましょう。
Huh?
奥の手ですか？西条先輩は頻繁に告白を受けています。個人的な連絡先を知っている人は少ないですから、大抵直接声をかけるか手紙で呼び出しをしているそうです。
So what you're suggesting is...
はい。先輩方なら同じクラスですから、機会はいくらでもありますよね。
That's true, it's a bit old-fashioned, but that might be our best bet. Though if anyone finds out, I won't be able to show my face at school anymore.
でも行動を起こさないと何も始まりません。先輩は恋人を作らなくてはいけない事情があるんですよね。
You're right, this is the time to be worrying about my reputation. If we assume that Karin had indeed been trying to send some kind of message through her stream yesterday, then that means she really was responding to me and working up the courage to approach her at the arcade. If I didn't take action, nothing would ever happen.
何ですか？二人で分かり合った感じになっちゃって、奥の手って結局何なんです？
Like she said, a letter. We're talking about writing a letter to ask her to meet me somewhere. Somewhere we can talk in private.
ああ、なるほど。じゃあ早速書いてリンカさんに渡しましょう。あなたがカリンちゃんですかって文面でいいですよね。
That's a little too direct. We don't want to alarm her. Let me write it. I'll slip it into her desk or something when I'm done.
じゃあ下駄箱にしましょう。その方が漫画っぽくてロマンがあるので。
Sure, whatever. Doesn't really matter where I put it. Neil's sudden enthusiasm helped relieve a bit of my trepidation. But while this wasn't a confession of love, the thought of writing a letter to a girl still made me rather nervous. Somewhere we could talk in private. After a lot of thought, the best place that came to mind was the restaurant I work at. Fairy Tale.
いらっしゃいませ。お前らどうしたんだ？バイトの時間にはまだ早いだろ？
Kina tilted her head as she looked at me, Kozaki, and Ale. We heard a rendezvous with someone, actually.
もしかして修羅場か？店内で暴力沙汰を起こすなよ。それで寝取ったのはお前か？それとも寝取られた側か？
Are you the cucker or the cucky in this scenario? Was not a sentence I was expecting to read today. What are you talking about?
状況的に二股ないし三股がバレて佐久間先輩が問い詰められるという線もありますよ。
Don't encourage her, Kosaki. Besides, you know why I'm here. Why we're here. When I say rendezvous, I don't mean a romantic
お
one.
友達と待ち合わせなんです。なんだ、そうなのか。
I turned my head, looking around the restaurant. Luckily, I couldn't see any students I knew from school. In fact, there weren't any young customers who might have been one of Karin's viewers either. Good. Then we wouldn't have to use the break room to talk. Is it okay if we use that table over there? I pointed to the furthest four-seater booth we had. It was an inconspicuous table by the wall that was hard to see from the entrance.
いいぞ。ただし、バイトの時間までには話をつけろよ。
After moving to the table, the three of us sat facing each other.
リンカさん、来てくれるでしょうか。
Not much we can do except hope she does.
結局、手紙には何と書いたんです？
Well, I opened the notepad on my phone and showed Kozaki my draft. I need to talk to you about your secret. Let's talk in person. Meet you at family restaurant Fairy Tale.
最初の文字を縦に読んでみてください。どうですか？私も一緒に考えたんですよ。縦読み。どうして止めなかったんですか、先輩。これじゃ来てくれないかもしれませんよ。
Don't blame me. Ale said she wouldn't help me put this in her shoe racket unless I added it in, so I had no choice. The only way we were able to slip the letter into Saija's shoe rack without being seen was use Love Miel's powers of invisibility after all. Since the whole operation hinged on her, my only option was to comply.
本当に何の冗談かと思ったわ。
Ah.
こんなにふざけた呼び出しの手紙をもらったのは初めてよ。しかもそっちは3人？ずいぶんと卑怯なことをするのね。
It looked like she was none too happy to be here. Her icy stare was making me queasy. Sorry about the weird letter, Saijo, but thanks you for
あの
coming.
手紙でよく来てくれましたね。
佐久間くんにはクマタンの恩があるから、これで貸し借りゼロよ。
Gratitude was as thorny as ever. I don't know about even though I might owe you after this. But anyway, you know Ale obviously, but this is Kozaki who's in the first year. They're both people I trust and confide in, which is why I asked them to be here.
はじめまして、西条先輩。そうですよ。秘密は守りますから信用してくださいね、凛花さん。はあ、
いいわ。どうせここで交渉を拒否しても3人で情報は共有してるんでしょ。それなら逃げるより交渉を進めた方が合理的だわ。
Negotiate?
そうよ。
Saijo heaved a sigh before taking a seat. Since there were 4 of us, Ale and Kozaki were already sitting next to each other, so he had no other choice. But even so, it made my heart skip a beat as Saijo suddenly sat down
どう
beside me.
せ私の秘密をネタに何か条件を出すつもりなんでしょ。黙っていてやるからセックスさせろとか。
That's ridiculous!
女性を2人連れてきている時点でその線はなさそうで安心した。 4P を強要するつもり。
そうなんですか、つむぐさん。先輩。
Don't be absurd! There are jokes you play along with, but this one isn't one of them, okay? Both Ale and Kozaki were taking this way too lightly.
それで秘密を守る条件は何？
ちょっと待ってください。
何かしら。
凛花さんがかりんちゃんのことは認めるんですか？
認めざるを得ないでしょ。下手に否定して吹聴されたら困るもの。学園や親の耳に入ったらそれこそ終わりだわ。私の家厳しいの。もし知られたらゲームもバーチャルアイドル活動も続けられなくなるわ。だからかりんを守るためには潔く認めて条件交渉をするべきだと判断したの。
Saijo's expression was dead serious. I suppose it was obvious, but she really did care about Cotton.
何よニヤニヤして。
Sorry, I was just thinking in that you're really her.
だからさっきからそう言ってるでしょ。
She huffed angrily, although I seemed to be annoying her. I just couldn't contain my excitement. I've been a loyal supporter of hers ever since the first time I saw her stream. In my excitement and nervousness, I completely forgot that I was supposed to be talking about.
握手してください。
何よ急に。
実は芸能人を見るのは初めてで、
別に事務所に所属してるわけじゃないし芸能人ってわけじゃ。
ですが個人で活動していて同説1万人超えの規模は相当すごいのでは。配信の頻度も波がありますが豆ですし、真面目に活動されていて立派だと思います。
そうありがとう。配信の時期は塾で忙しい時もあってって褒められてもほだされないわよ。
Saijo's expression had softened for just a moment, but immediately hardened
あな
again.
たたちの目的は何？お金をゆすろうって魂胆なら。
No, look, we're not here to blackmail you.
は？
We just wanted to confirm that it was true, whether you or not you were actually Cotton. My only motivation was curiosity. Love No's advice had been so cryptic, but I just had to put on my detective's hat and solve the mystery. I simply wanted to see the true face of my classmate, the reclusive honor student. Now that I was able to talk to her like this, my goal had been achieved.
何よそれ。変な条件を出されるよりタッチが悪いわ。どうしたら口止めできるのかわからないじゃない。
Let me ask you something.
何？
Why did you start streaming as Cotton in the first place?
私がカリンをやってる理由？
I mean, at school, you've got this whole extremely studious rich girl vibe, right? It just seems rather out of character for
あ
you.
なたたちは私が体が弱くて入退院を繰り返していたことは知ってる？
She probably started it as something to do while in the hospital.
そうなんですか？
Yeah, I've heard people say that before. That's why she went to our school instead of a more advanced prep school somewhere else. Or so the rumors went.
クルルも 噂で聞いただけですけど、西条先輩1年生にも憧れている子は多いので。
他の学年の子も知ってるなんて、リアルでもネットでも人気なんですね、凛花さん。
別にこそこそ噂されるのは嬉しくもなんともないけど。
After clearing her throat, she continued.
入院していた時に私が病室で見ていたのがバーチャルアイドルの配信だったの。おしゃべりが上手な子の配信を見ているだけで楽しい気持ちになったり、歌の上手な子に癒されたり、いろんな子がいて、みんなそれぞれに生き生きとしてた。キラキラして明るくて。だからね、思ったの。自分も元気になった時、他の誰かを元気づけたいって。
Perhaps Saija was remembering the streams she'd watched that had inspired her so much. A gentle expression spread across her face. Watching her, I realized just how proud she was to be doing what she was doing.
カリンって名前にしたのはどうしてですか？
確かに有名になっていったら名前の関連を勘ぐる人もいるかもしれませんよね。
カリンとリンカはアナグラムっていうのをしてるんですよね。つむぐさんが言ってました。
You didn't need to add that. Felt vaguely embarrassing being tattled on like
配
that.
信をするときはみんなを元気にできるような性格の女の子を演じたいって思ってたの。でも演じているキャラクターも私自身なんだって自覚していたかったからかしら。それにね、かりんの花言葉は可能性っていう意味もあるの。それってなんだか私のやりたいことと重なっている気がしたから。
よかったですね、つむぐさん。
What are you talking about?
前に適当に名前をつけたのかもなって話してた時のつむぐさん、叶いそうでしたから。リンカさんがかりんちゃんをとっても大事にしてるって分かって嬉しいですよね。
Well, I guess.
何よそれ。そんなことで喜ぶなんて。
だってつむぐさん、かりんちゃんのこと大好きなんですよ。配信見るたびに疲れた顔も笑顔になってるし、かりんちゃんにいっぱい元気をもらってますよね。
That's true.
そうなの？
Yeah. Truth is, I once spent a stretch of time in the hospital too.
入院って佐久間くんどこか悪かったの？
I used to be part of the track club, see, but I injured my leg one day and had to undergo surgery. Before then, I spent most of my time busy with club activities, but after I got injured, I wasn't able to do any of that anymore. I didn't know what to do with myself. Even the people around me began to worry about me. It was during that period of depression that I met Cotton.
そうだったの。その私の配信が気晴らしになったのなら嬉しいわ。
これは運命的な出会いですね。入院中に励まされた少年と誰かを元気づけようと活動していた少女が出会うなんて。
素敵なボーイミーツガールです。クルル、感激しました。
Even Gozi was getting fired up now. It was kind of embarrassing having them root for me like this. It appeared Saija felt the same way.
佐久間くんが熱心なファンだってことは分かったわ。質問には答えたし、誰にも話さないって信用していいのよね。
Of course. I have no intention of interfering with your streams, and I'd never talk to anyone about your true identity in real life or online. As a fan, I'd never want to hurt Cotton in any way.
そう。ありがとう。それじゃあ。
ちょっと待ってください。このまま解散はなしですよ。
どうして？
We learned what we wanted from her, didn't we? What else is there to talk about?
なんでですか。昨日の配信の後3人で話し合いましたよね。リンカさんとお友達になりたいですってお返事するのが目的じゃないですか。
返事？
クルルさんが言ってましたよ。クレーンゲームでクマタンを取れた話をしたのは匂わせじゃないかって。
友達だって表現するのは言い過ぎだったとか妙に強調してらしたので、もしかしたら友達になってもいいよというメッセージなのではないかと。
友達ね。あなたたちが友達になりたいって言うなら応じてあげないこともないわ。
ゾンゾンゾンゾンゾンゾン Saija spoke deliberately, as if to gloss over what she'd said in her stream. Perhaps her pride wouldn't allow her to admit it unless she reworded it in a slightly more haughty manner. She's a surprisingly cute side, Saija.
私芸能人のお友達って初めてです。
クルルも
別に芸能人じゃないってば。
Well, I hope we can get along from now, Saija. Though it might be a little difficult for us to chat in class.
それじゃあゲームの世界でおしゃべりするのはどうですか？この前配信で話してたゲームあるじゃないですか。サウザンドガンズ。
Thousand Guns. I don't think Masura was talking about it in class too.
あれ VR でも遊べるゲームなんですよね。4人チーム制ですし、チーム専用のお部屋でボイスチャットとかできるんですよね。
実はそれ野良プレイしかしてなくて、いつも同じジェスチャーと定型文でやり取りしてるの。
え、そうなんですか？
毎回一緒にプレイできる友達とかいないもの。ゲームなんてしなさそうな優等生で通ってるから。
I see.
本当は早くチームでの動きに慣れるためにも固定パーティーでやりたいんだけどね。
Was it just me or did it sound like she'd never had any friends at all? Did she just mean she didn't have any friends who played games? Well, she was a frail young girl from a rich family that had to go to the hospital quite frequently. She probably didn't have any friends. Felt a little concerned for Saija, if it was the former.
サウザンドガンズとはチーム対抗戦型のファンタジーバトルロイヤルゲーム。
Oh no! It's Fortnite! Like, he was saying, like, fucking Muscle was saying something about a score and it being on, like... So I didn't expect it to be fucking fantasy. Actually, do I have to add the fantasy at this point for Fortnite? Considering all the random ass bullshit they put in there. Gap that shouldn't be there, I think. No, wait. Kozuki read aloud as she searched up the game online.
クルル、VR ゲームはすぐ酔っちゃうので参戦が難しそうです。
Oh, that's too
体
bad.
質の合う合わないはあるもの。
なので、クルルが参加できない代わりに人を一人紹介します。
もしかしてウタちゃんですか？
Uda might not be much of a talker, though. Even at the best of times, she wasn't very fond of Ale. She might not like the idea of playing
ウ
with
タ
her.
ちゃんじゃないですけど、皆さんがよく知っている方です。カリンちゃんのファンで、先輩やクルルたちと同様に信頼できて、カリンちゃんを絶対に傷つけない人ですよ。
If Kozuki was that confident about this person, I suppose I just had to trust her. It should be obvious that she's talking about Masura. Later. After coming home from work, I found Love Miel humming cheerfully to herself. I'm back.
おかえりなさい。
You really went out and got that, huh? I was wondering how she was planning to play with us. I thought she'd somehow materialized in the virtual world using her angel powers or something. I didn't think she'd actually go and buy a bunch of VR peripherals.
聞いてくださいよ。つむぐさんの恋愛を応援するためだと天使長様に頼んだら VR ゲームの機材一式を用意してくださったんです。
Really does spoil you, huh?
つむぐさんだって学生のうちに一式揃えてるじゃないですか。
I bought mine with my own money, thank you very much. Anyways, let's hurry up and get set up. We'd made an appointment to play with Karen, or rather Saiju after all. I didn't want to be late. Just as Love Me had finished setting up, it was time for us to assemble. Alright, let's get started. This really is a fantasy world, huh? I murmured to myself as I looked at my surroundings.
ほほー、これが VR というものですか。すごい没入感ですね。
Yeah, everything feels pretty real, especially the tactile. Wait a minute, the outfit. Love Me was dressed exactly as she usually was. She even had her Cupid's bow with her.
もうそんなに見て、もしかして見とれちゃってます？
I thought it, how are you wearing your angel outfit in here?
それは天使長様の粋な計らいですよ。
Boy, this archangel person was way too accommodating.
この衣装かわいいでしょ。 の世界にも合ってますよね。
Well, I guess so. Love Meal being Love Meal, I was having a hard time complimenting her, obviously. But she really did look right at home in a fantasy
か
setting.
わいいじゃない。そのままバーチャルアイドルとして活動できちゃいそうね。
あ、リンカさんありがとうございます。
Ah.
こんばんは、つぐくん。
Beside her VR character floated the name Rinka. Hello, Rinka, right?
ええ、名前ちゃんと表示されてるでしょ。
Yeah, I couldn't help but stutter. I was completely transfixed by her appearance. Okay, I see the issue. I see the issue. I see the issue.
うん、セーブバッチシ。
The moment the game decides to not show a fucking sprite because of the censorship, yeah, that's when I actually grab the fucking R18 patch. My Klutzy Cupid patch. God fucking damn it, I hate this. I don't know why, but my Google has this weird issue lately where after I type something in, it'll show like the regular fucking the regular ass fucking sorry. It'll show the regular results screen, quote unquote, I guess you could say. And but after like the first second or so of the research result being there, like the top 3 or so just vanish. And I don't know why. I don't know what the fuck it is. The fuck? So I got distracted for a little bit there. Open that. Go here. That. Oh yeah, I should probably close this before I do this. Yes, I'm doing this right the fuck
今
now.
すぐカーソルを家に持って行ってくる。うん、お疲れ。
Alright, there we go. Now we open the game files. Manage property, browse local files. Browse local files, you know, like the necrophiles, the pedophiles. And so on and so forth. That was a bad joke, don't worry about it. Pain. Suffering. Swag. I don't know why I added that last one there. That obviously I'm slowly but surely losing my mind over here. Could you not? There we go, better. Alright, now delete this. And there we go. Yeah, what the fuck if I turned this into like a random ass like fucking 2008 type how to install a mod fucking tutorial video, like complete with terrible audio quality and that one song, you know, the one, I don't know the actual name of it, you know the one. I don't know the name, like I said, so I can only try to fucking mimic it.
ゆらった俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。楽しんでゲーム
The
をプレイ
fuck?
する。
Wrong button! Wrong button! Wrong button! Wrong button! Piece of shit!
このデータをロードするぞ。ほら。
Do we
ロ
actually
ード
see
で
her
きた
now?
ぞ。
We do. I'm not surprised that they decided to censor it. Her outfit was indeed very fantasy-esque. Some kind of princess knight, perhaps. Stunning, not to mention cute.
ジロジロ見ないでくれる？
Sorry. flustered, I looked
リ
away.
ンカさん、ゲームの世界ではカリンって名前使ってないんですね。
カリンでゲームしたら怪しまれるでしょ。これは配信のためにゲームを練習するキャラクターよ。
なるほど。
You practice off screen?
当然よ。
Stream?
うまく見えるまで練習するの。難しいことを簡単にやってのけられるくらい上手くなっておきたいのよ。誰かを元気にしたいんだから。眉間にシワを寄せて必死にプレイしてる姿なんかじゃなくて、常に笑顔を見せていたいもの。
志が高いんですね、リンカさん。
Expected nothing less from you, Karen.
ちょっと声が震えてるけど、泣いてるの？
I'm bawling my eyes out.
してないですよ。
ネットの誇張表現あるあるね。
Well, first off, her expression right now, I knew my fucking instincts were on par, on point with her. Secondly, they really just fucking pulled out the. You really think someone would just do that? Just go on the internet and lie? They really had to put that. They really had to sneak that meme in there. Up! We made cry on the inside, alright. At that moment, I received a notification on my phone. Sorry, I'll be right back. I opened my Rhyme app. It was a message from Klutzy.
信頼できる協力者の方、これからゲームにログインするそうです。詳しい事情はお伝えしていないので、どこまで話すかは先輩方で相談して決めてください。
Alright, the person who was supposedly a diehard fan of Karen as
ロ
well.
ビーの ID とパスワード教えてください。
I had a sneaking suspicion I knew who Klutzy had invited, but since it wasn't familiar with everyone in her circle of friends, for now my only choice was to meet this person myself. Alright, thanks. After replying to her with the lobby ID and login info, I returned to the game.
おかえりなさい、つぐさん。
どうしたの？何か急用？
No, nothing like that. Klutzy just told me that the person she invited was about to show up.
どんな方でしょうか。
私のカリンのファンだって言ってたわよね。
Don't worry, Klutzy hasn't told them about your secret. She says it's up to us to decide what to tell them. Obviously, though, it's ultimately up to you how much you want to reveal, Rinka.
私もそれでいいと思いますよ。
そう。
Saijo, or rather Rinka, fell silent in thought. Although Klutzy had assumed we could trust this person, I'm sure she was still hesitant to be completely open with a total stranger. At that moment, however, a new member joined our lobby.
こんばんは。
Knew it.
クルルちゃんに連絡もらって参戦しに来たよ。
So it was you after all, Masora.
残念そうに言わないでよ。
Now I'm relieved.
本当に？それならいいけどさ。
マソラさん、ここではソラさんって言うんですね。
うん、そうだよ。よろしくね、エルちゃん。それからリンカさんは西条さんだよね。ええ。ここではリンカって呼んでもらって構わないわ。了解。僕のこともソラって呼んでね。それにしても珍しい組み合わせだよね。みんないつの間に仲良くなってたの？エールちゃん経由？
Not exactly, if anything, it was through me. As I paused, wondering how to best explain it, Rinka opened her
つ
mouth.
ぐくんに突き止められてしまったの。私が南カリンだってこと。え？
Damn, she just dropped the bombshell! I ultimately ended up telling Masura pretty much everything we discussed at Fairy Tale this afternoon. The only thing I left out were the parts about love me all being an angel and me needing to find someone to fall in love with.
カリンちゃんが西条さんだったなんて。もうすぐ知ってたならすぐ教えてくれればいいのに。ファンの仲間にベラベラ話すような人だったら信用しなかったわ。いくらクマタンの恩があったとしてもね。クマタンの恩？何それ？
Look, that's enough chit-chat. We'd better get started on this quest soon, or we're gonna be playing past midnight.
ああ、ずるい。また秘密。ほら、意外と自己主張しないタイプなのね。
What's that supposed to
だ
mean?
ってよくカリンにコメントしてくれていたでしょ、つぐくん。
talk to me about online personalities.
なんかじゃれ合ってるようにしか見えないな。
It's not like that.
嬉しそうですね、つぐさん。
Shut up. Anyway, you have to keep everything we just told you a secret.
つぐくんの友達で信頼できる相手だって聞いてるから話したのよ。だから約束してくれる？
もちろん分かってるよ。絶対に秘密は守るし、かりんちゃんや西条さんが困るようなことはしない。約束するよ。
ありがとう、ソラさん。
Thanks.
むしろ僕も仲間に入れてくれて嬉しいもん。
それじゃあそろそろゲーム始めましょうか。
そうだね。このゲーム割とすぐマッチするからテンポよくいこう。
はい、私初心者なのでサポートよろしくお願いしますね。対戦モードはここですかね。
Hey, don't just press start like that!
しかもエイルさんが選んだランク強い人しかいないやつじゃない。
初心者パーティーでそこはやばいって。
Amidst the objections of our most experienced players, our party was quickly whisked away towards the battlegrounds. Although Masora was relatively familiar with the game, his skill was mostly balanced out by me and Lovemiel's utter ineptitude. Saijo, on the other hand, was getting noticeably better the longer we played. As we continued playing, it finally began to sink in. I thought this about Karen as well, but Saijo really was an incredibly quick learner. Took no time at all for her to grasp the game's core mechanics and begin giving us detailed instructions on what to do.
ごめんなさい。さっきの対戦ケアレスミスばっかりしちゃって。
気にしないで。初めてなのに何戦も続けてやったし疲れちゃったんじゃない？
もう日付変わってるのね。そろそろお開きにしましょうか。
Good idea. To be honest, I don't think I can focus anymore either.
遊んでる間は全然疲れてる感じしないですね。楽しすぎて。
だよね。でも今日は特に楽しかった。すぐとはよく遊ぶから息が合うし、エイルちゃんは敵も味方もびっくりな動きで場をかき回してくれて面白いし。
本当にね。エイルさんの予想外の動きのおかげで戦況がガンガン変わったわね。
プレイの最中は夢中すぎて。
リンカさんは飲み込みが早くてぐんぐん上手くなってくから一緒にプレイしてて面白かったよ。
I thought that too. She's incredible.
ありがとう。別に褒められるほど上手くなってないけどね。
じゃあこれからももっといっぱい一緒に遊びましょう。
だね。予定合わせたり攻略の話とかもしたいし、後でライムの連絡先交換しない？
構わないわよ。
Huh? Really?
何？いくら家が厳しい優等生だからってライムくらいやってるわ。
No, that's not what I...
すぐカリンちゃんと連絡先交換できるのが嬉しいんだよね。
mean, I could say the same about you.
ライムはどちらかというと西条凛花としての交流というか、その
Hearing that only made me happier. I never imagined I'd be able to call myself a friend of Rinka Saijo, the beautiful and approachable honor student, let alone get her number.
よかったですね。
Shut up! I've had enough out of you for tonight! Even through the virtual world, I could sense Lovemiel and Masura smirking at me.
めちゃくちゃ楽しかったです。
Me too. It was like a dream. Being able to play together with Saijo, Karen herself as a friend.
連絡先も交換しちゃいましたね。
Yeah, that was one new name in my contact list. Rinka Saijo. No matter how long I stared at it, it didn't feel real. But there it was, Rinka's number. Still didn't have the courage to send her a message myself, but for now, staring at her name was enough for me. This might be the happiest I've been in my entire life.
反応してる場合じゃないですよ。
Book. Lay off, let me bask in the afterglow a little while longer.
ですが、今日は運命度も大幅アップしてるはずです。早くラブノートを見てみましょう。
Oh, you're right. With Lovemiel pushing at my back, I took out the love note from my desk drawer. Without our fakeness would have gone down, but I still felt a little nervous. Pulse racing, I scribbled down the name Rinka
書
Saijo.
けましたか？どれどれ。
Lovemiel and I peered down at the love note. As we watched, words soon appeared on its pages.
西条凛花運命度40もっともっと仲良くなること。
運命度アップですよ。
Our friendship is just beginning, huh?
じゃあもっともっとゲームをして仲良くなっちゃいましょう。
Right.
ほほ珍しく前向きですね。
This is Karanaka, aka Rinka, we're talking about after all.
やる気があるのはいいことです。私もサポートいっぱい頑張っちゃいますよ。
Just try not to overdo it. In her case, the more worked up she gets, the more prone she is to failure.
なんで？どういう意味ですか？
俺のキューピッドがポンコツすぎて怖い。
みんなで投稿嬉しいな嬉しいな。
You know what? This feels like a good place to stop it, actually. I hope you guys enjoyed this one, and see you next time. Bye-bye.